Hi guys, I'm probably not going to upload this till the weekend. It's going to be a short writer's workshop this time because there's not much to update. I'm still working on the third part of this series. That's book 1, that's book 2. I'm working on book 3. I've only got a couple of chapters to do. But my chronic fatigue's been kicking me in the ass of late, so it's a bit of a struggle. Then as soon as I've done that, I'm hoping to do the sequel to that, and then the fourth one of the sequel to this one, and the fourth one of these, the third one of these, and then the fifth one of these, and that's both these series done. And then I think I'll probably work on one of my other series plus one of my husband's, because me and my husband are writing a couple of books together, which can be quite interesting because I have a science background, and a lot of his stuff is like science fiction and comic book type stuff. I have to keep saying yes, but in the bounds of physics, and he's like, yeah, but it's comic book. I'm like, yeah, I cannot, you can say that to a certain point, but you still need to know you still need to have some of the knowledge behind it and stuff like that. So, I won't go into specifics because we're trying to protect those because they're not even on paper yet, so to speak. But I think we're going to do the darker series first, which I'm actually looking forward to doing. I think I've already drafted the first chapter. But yeah, that's another project ongoing. Then I have another couple of ideas that popped into my head not long ago, that I'm actually looking forward to doing as well. So as you can imagine, if I were to show you some of the folders that are literally rammed full of ideas, it's untrue. My brain's always coming up with ideas, and it's always wanting to do this, and it's always wanting to do that, and I'm having to say, calm down. I'm having to calm my brain down sometimes, and luckily this crochet is actually helping. So with a bit of luck, I'll be able to, separate my brain at some point, because at the minute it doesn't separate. But I'm at the doctor's next week to find out about my chronic fatigue. I think it's because my thyroid meds need adjusting. So that's what we're thinking it is anyway, because a non-directive thyroid can cause chronic fatigue, so that's what we're hoping anyway, and hopefully the doctor can change my thyroid meds and see where we go from there. It's either too high or too low, so with a bit of luck we'll figure something out between us and the doctor. But I always see a specific doctor, it's a bit of a pain. But yeah, like I said, I've got a couple of chapters to do, then I'll do a read through, just send it to the boss, and then while she's looking through it, I'll probably do the first draft of book 2 of this. But I'm hoping to do, actually I'll do it now. Talk about inspiration this time, because I actually had all this planned, but I didn't get my folder out, did I? Didn't get my book out, did I? So that's the planner. Writer's workshop. Inspiration. I've got my notes in front of me, don't worry. Inspiration can come from various different places. Mine comes from all sorts of places, some strange, some normal. These are the little things I do to help the inspiration and to help retain that inspiration, because sometimes you're like, oh, trying to make a good book, and then you forget what it was. So I make a basic, I haven't got anything everything with me here as I'll show you. I write down like a basic idea, and then I'll go more in depth, then break it down chapter by chapter. I did mention that on the last one, so I'll link the last one above, and then I'll start writing each chapter. But the plans for the chapters aren't rigid, and there are times I had a chapter, there are times I take chapters out because they don't make much sense, that sort of stuff. Getting inspiration the other times when you're about to fall asleep happens all flipping time. I'll start falling asleep and an idea will pop into me, so it's like, luckily I have quite a few pads at the side of me, so I'll just get up and jot it down back to sleep. It's quite comical because the husband will say, what are you doing? I'm like, I've just had an idea, I have to write it down or else I won't be able to sleep, and then he just shakes his head and goes back to sleep. Keep a notebook by your bed or in your handbag so you don't have inspiration, so when it does hit you can write it down. For you blokes that don't want to carry around a man bag, which I can understand, you can't do things like put them in your phones, because any other phone gone? I have two phones and it can get quite confusing which one's which, right? In this one at the minute I have notes for 3 different ideas. I'm in the process of transferring them over to one of my books so that I can delete them because this phone's short on memory. But if you've got plenty of memory on your phone, do that. Either that or write it in an email and post it to yourself. Those are options. If you can, take day trips. Numerous times when we've gone to Whitby or we've gone down to see his family down in Shropshire, my mother-in-law's family down in Shropshire, or we go to Scarborough, or we go to Leeds, or we go to Sheffield, I get ideas then. It's weird. Even talking to my friends and family, I have a cousin, I don't know if he still works in the same place or not, but he used to work in a hospital, and he told me of a story about, because part of the hospital is haunted, and I was like, oh, I have to use that, and just a little nod to it. Walks in museums, I'm lucky because here in York we have a lot of museums. We have 1, 2, 3 big ones at least. Then there's the Chocolate Museum, so that's 4. So we've got the one which is over where the prison used to be, over by Clifford's Tower, because it's also adjoins Clifford's Tower, which is weird. It's also where Dick Turpin was. Then we have the York Museum Gardens Museum, which has all the Roman stuff in, because this city that I live in, York, is one of the oldest cities in the UK. We have a rich history, which is good. That goes back thousands of years. We've had Romans here, we've had Vikings, we've had all sorts. So, because originally it was called Jorvik, and then it got changed to York, so kind of understandable. And then we have the Railway Museum, and then like I said, we have a Chocolate Museum as well. I prefer the Chocolate Museum. There I once saw at Cadbury's. Films, right. I'll use a couple of examples. The film that's, if you've read this book and if you've watched this film, you'll understand the small correlation that there is between the two. This book was given birth to by Gothica, because just before I started writing it is when I started watching Gothica, and then, as I've said in I think it was the last one, I was at work one week, and it's the week just before Christmas, and for the last like 2 or 3 days there is literally nothing to do, so a lot of staff do take that, those last few days off. But they do need a skeleton staffing just in case, so there's like a couple of people in per department. So I think there were 3 or 4 of us on contact centre at the time, and they basically turned around to us and said, right, there's not many orders coming through, there's not many calls coming through, So you can do what you want within reason, providing that when calls come in and when orders come in, they get it done, which was fine by us. And I think I was sat in the corner at the time. I went from one corner to the opposite corner. It was weird. And I was sat in the corner at the time. I think it was Christmas before I left. And the first couple of that's where the first couple of chapters got wrote. And then when I was finishing the book, me and my husband lived with his parents, and I was literally watching Gothica the whole time I was reading it on our Roll TV. So yeah, that's what gave birth to this. People, right. The inspiration for this is the lady that's on the cover, which is my best friend's daughter, who's only 4 years younger than me, which is weird. I'm sorry, but it's still weird to have a best friend that's got a daughter 4 years younger than me. But my best friend, she's very... We have lots in common, even though there's an age gap. But yeah, she was the inspiration behind this, because the lady that's in this, I'm hoping next time she's up, I can nab her for a video. The lady that's in this is based on, she has that type of attitude where she takes no crap. She takes, if you say something to her that she doesn't like, she'll let you know. She loves rock music. She loves heavy metal. She loves stuff like Download, my best friend, and my best friend's husband, who's my husband's friend. They all go to Download every year, which is a big music festival down south somewhere. So they go to that every year, and I mean every year. It's usually in June, so it's not far off. Come to think of it, it's really not that far off. So yeah, that's how that came about, because she's got that attitude that if you were to kill her, she will get her revenge, and trust me, it wouldn't be pretty. Dreams, which is what gave birth to these two. And people say, well, it's weird that you use dreams. It's like, well, no, because that's how Twilight and Harry Potter came to be. Stephenie Meyer's always said she had a dream about the Meadows scene, and then that's how Twilight came to be. And J.K. Rowling said the same about Harry Potter. Other books have been inspired by other ideas that I've had for books. Have been inspired by other books, namely Stephen King. But I ensure my ideas are completely different than his. Purely because, well, we have a different writing style to begin with, but there is a lot of, things that he inspires me about. He inspires me to be as graphic and gory as possible. But all that being said, find your own inspiration, find what works for you, and throw yourself into it. Essentially, just throw yourself into it. I'm probably going to edit this video tonight and upload it over the weekend. And then next week, I think what video shall I do next week? Might do that one and that one. Yeah, I've got the ideas for next week's videos. So I will see you soon, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you soon.